Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles, and welcome to Satisfactory Blueprints. Yeah, everybody has so many questions about blueprints because why? They save so much time, they're so easy to make, and yet they're like a mystery to some people. So let's go ahead, I'm going to jump in today and we're going to just try to answer all those questions. I kind of Googled a little bit and I went how to use, download, import, make, delete, make bigger, save, transfer to other saves, unlock, share, work. People just have so many questions about blueprints. And yeah, we got a lot of things to do today, so let's get started. So first things first, where do I find them and when do I get them? So let's go into our hub and hit here. So you have to get past tiers 1 and 2 and build your space elevator, and then you'll unlock tiers 3 and 4. In 4, you'll see Fix-It Blueprints. You need steel, which means you're going to need coal. So you're going to want to unlock coal first, so you can make it scannable, right here, and this way you can start making steel. Unless you find a crash site that has some steel beams, but you're going to need 200 of them. So my suggestion is go through coal first. So that's when you'll find your first set of blueprints, which is your Mark 1 designer. Alright, so now that you know where and how to get blueprints, at least your first set, let's go ahead and show you what you can do with your first set of blueprints. Alright, so here's our Mark 1 blueprinter. And down here we have a station. So let's get down into here and we click on it. So now you can make blueprints and you can save the name. You got his description so you know exactly what it is. You could set a directory and you could actually add and edit blueprints. You could put a subcategory, and this way you could set all your smelters to one subcategory. You could even add categories to your side here. So let's go ahead and make a blueprint. So over here, this is our blueprint maker, and we have a 4x4 space. Now I usually like to put down some foundations. They could just be 1 meter foundations, but this way when I put down a blueprint, I know it'll be on a foundation. I can remove these foundations later on if I want to, but for now, I really do like building on a foundation. And you can actually turn them into anything you want. So you can go into here and you can actually make them coated concrete. And it will save this way. Alright, so a lot of people like to set up at least smelters, constructors. Constructors take up the whole space here. Let's see, I'll show you. We'll go into here, constructor. And this can take up pretty much width-wise the space of 1 square. But you can't be on the edge. So like this will come in just a little bit. If you hold control, you can set it up right next to it. And you can line up 4 constructors very easily. And you could do the same on the other side. So I'm not going to go through a whole blueprint setup because there's a lot of videos out there that are a lot more efficient and better than me, but this is basically how you set up your blueprints. Now, we come down here, we go in here, you can now set this up as constructors, and you can save it. Now you can edit the icon, so you can actually put in a constructor, just like this, and I'll have a picture of it. You can select the color you want for the background, and there you go, and you save it. Now if I hit load, there's the one I just made. So now let's go ahead and close that out. Say I want to clear the blueprint. I'm just gonna clear the blueprint and it's gone. So you may also want to delete a setup that you had previously. If you go into your directory, you can go down to this edit button here. And there's a little cogwheel here. We're going to delete this one. So you just click remove blueprint, confirm, and it's gone. So that's how you delete blueprints within the machine to get rid of the ones you maybe previously made and you don't like them or don't want them anymore and start fresh. Now, what if you don't have the materials? In here, you can save materials. So you may need rods, you may need reinforced plates. You can put this all in here if you don't have this much inventory space, which you won't when you get to the Mark 1. Alright, so that's the basics of how to get started with a blueprint and when you get them. Alright, so you made your blueprint and you don't know where or how to place them. Alright, so here we have an iron node. I'm going to go ahead and go into our miners. And I'm just going to pull out a miner here. And we're just going to set it up there. Alright, so now that we have our miner set up, let's go ahead and go into our blueprints. Alright, let's go into blueprints. And we're going to go into smelters. And I'm going to look for my output, and I'm going to press H. H lets you be able to nudge with your arrow keys to line it up as best as possible. It also allows you to see exactly where it sits here. So you can see where it is, and we're going to try to line up the foundations a little better so we know. So I'm going to move this back so the foundations match a little bit. They don't have to be perfect. And I'm also going to look at how much this output lines up with that input, which this is pretty good. Alright, so next I'm going to hit the left mouse button, and that's going to allow me to set this up. Next it's going to fill in. There we go. And I'm just going to hit logistics. It doesn't matter if we get a M35. You could do this with any marks, so it's fine. And we're going to do that. And then we're just going to take this belt, put it into there. And that's going to mine everything in. And mind you, I didn't put any electric to this setup. It was kind of a quick setup that I did. But you can add electric and everything else and have these smelters already hooked up. So that's how you set up your blueprints. So say now I want to upgrade or change it out or do anything. Now you can upgrade any of these belts and anything you want, but I want to delete this. I'm going to hit the F button, I'm going to hit the R button, and I'm going to hit blueprint. So now this will delete my whole blueprint. And the only thing I have left to delete is this. But I have to go back to default in order to delete this. There we go. So now let's go ahead and show you where the directory is for this. Alright, so here we are. And if you are in this PC, see, we're going to go to users, your name, app data, local. We're going to go down to factory games, saved, and then saved games. And here's where your blueprints are. And those are saved in individual games. So you can actually go up and say I want 20 smelters. I'm going to copy this. I can actually paste this into a different save. So if I go into my blueprint saves, I might not see a save game I already have there. And that is because I've never made a blueprint in that game. So in order to save a blueprint to that save, you actually have to make a blueprint. And then that will give you your saved game in the directory where the blueprints are. And that is how you can move blueprints from individual save games. And then you would just literally just copy and paste it. So I can copy this where it says 45 angle right, and that's in 1.0 Let's Play. And then I could turn around and open it up and let's see, we'll go to G&G Let's Play. Oh, that might be there. No, it's not. Okay. And then we paste it. There we go. 45 angle. So right there, we just moved a blueprint from one save game to another. So I really hope that helps you to find your blueprints, save them to individual games. And yeah, let's go ahead and continue. So as you saw in the last one, we made a blueprint and we forgot to put electric in there and we didn't set it to a specific ingot. So let's go ahead and alter a blueprint. So we're going to load the blueprint that we just had. Let's close this out. And now we could see we don't have any power here or anything else. So what we could do is now put power in here. So we can just go to Q, power, and an outlet in the ceiling. And we could definitely place these right up top here. And then we could hook up all these smelters. All right, so we have all these smelters hooked up to power. We cannot put an external power point here because we'll go outside the blueprint. So now we can set this all to iron. And now these are all set to iron ingots. So now I can come back and I can click E and I can save this and override that one. Confirm. So now this all has electric and it's all set to iron. So now I could just come into here, press E, and clear this blueprint. And we're all set to go. But say you want to put extra stuff on there. Now that you did it, you set it up, and you got the Mark II. So you've made it to tier number 6, and you now have your Mark II designer. This is now a 5x5 instead of the 4x4, which was previous. So let's go ahead and see how we can alter a 4x4 in the 5x5. So a lot of you may think that you could just hit load blueprints and hit this. You can't. This was made in the 4x4. So it's like, nope, sorry, you can't use it. But you can. Let me show you. If you press X and go into blueprints, and now we grab that same one we just had and click H, and we get it just in the middle of this, which you could bring it to the end if you want to. I like to bring it to the middle. So this way I have space around it because I want to add my electrical outlets to the outside. So this way I can just connect it right up and go. Or I can add to it in any other way up or anything like that. So now that I have it set, I'm just going to click it, get out of it, and let it build. So now that it's completed building, I can now go into my power. I can go into my double wall outlets. And I could put one there. I could put one on the other side. Because I'm going to put 2 because this way I know I could pass power through. No worries. Now I can go back underneath and I can connect this up to there or over here, depending on where my power is coming in. And I'm good to go with power. I just connect the outside and we're good to go. I can also now add any design elements that would fit within the outside of this just to make it a little bigger. If I wanted to grab this wall, say, and I wanted to put it now on the outside of this like this, I can. And I could put anything I want around the outside. So now we just go over to here and we're going to save this as a new blueprint. And this will be our 5x5 blueprint. Smelters. And I'm just going to put new here so I know. And we're going to save this blueprint. So now I can clear the blueprint. And let's go back up to where we were and set this up now that we have all our electric and it all set to iron. So here's a pro tip. Before you leave the area, make sure you pull out your blueprint that you want to make. And make sure you have all the material you need to make it. Otherwise, you'll have to go all the way back to grab those things before you can make your blueprint. So I have everything I need. I'm going to click H. I'm going to make sure this is lined up the way I want it. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's hook it up. And now we just need power to here or the other side. Let's go ahead and hook this up to power. And everything's up and running. Everything's set to iron. All the electric is set. We're all good to go. And we could pass this electric on to anything else we would like. And now we're making the iron ingots. So you could do this with anything from smelters, constructors, assemblers, anything you want. And it should work. And if you make a mistake, go back, reload your blueprint, and add, because there's a lot of times you forget stuff like electric and other things, even belt setups, anything. Maybe you forgot to hook up the belts, right? you can always just go back and simply add to it once you get it done. And like I said, if you can't load it because you're going into a bigger blueprint, just go into your blueprints, put your blueprint right on top, and you can just go from there. So yeah, blueprints are so overpowered in this game. You can build literally factories just from blueprints, stacking them on top of each other, placing them next to each other, and just play around with it. It's a lot of fun, and it saves so much time when you're building. It's incredible. And if you enjoyed this tutorial and you want to see more like this, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye. So I want to give a very special thanks to Jemzen. If you don't know who that is, he's another content creator. I'll stick a link in the description below, but he really teaches me all this stuff, and I couldn't make these tutorials without him because he gives me all the information. So I really wanted to give him a shout out and say thank you. So go check him out. Links in the description, as I said before.